We have a Choose Your Own Adventure show today, bringing your product or app to life. And it's a quest to escape from your 8 to 5 job and create personal wealth. So welcome, everyone. I'm Tessa with the Idea Pros marketing team, and I have Fred Carey, who is co-founder and executive chairman of Idea Pros.
Hello,
Welcome back,
everybody.
Fred. First of all, I'm glad you're back today.
Yeah, thank you. I'll talk about that in a sec.
Yeah, well, we'll do a little bit of housekeeping as we get people in. I see that everyone's already saying hi, so hello, and Sean, Bill, John, thank you guys for popping in. Michael, just say hi and let us know where you're watching us from, while Fred gives us a little update on the state of things.
Yeah, and I just got off a video call with Michael, so he's probably sick of seeing me by now. But I did want to take a second and thank the people who knew about it. I had last Wednesday, I had surgery that was supposed to be 1 hour slow routine surgery. It turned out to be a 4 hour extravaganza with another couple of hours the next day. But just over a week later, and I'm tough and fine, and my shirt's a little too big because I lost about 10 pounds in a week, but I don't recommend that for a diet. So
No.
anyway, so I'm really good, and thank you all for your thoughts and your prayers. They're really appreciated. The other thing I want to announce, it's a little, I was going to say better news, but it's not better than me still being alive. But really good news for us and for our partners. Yesterday, there was a press release announcing a strategic alliance that we just signed with a company called Edison Nation. They're a public company, and they really kind of pick up where we leave. And that is, we'll take a project idea, we will vet it, we will do all our research and really bring it to the stage ready to go to market, go on Launchpad, and then we start building out a marketplace. Those guys pick up there, and they have distribution, manufacturing, licensing. They have all the stuff that we need at the end. And so we just announced this strategic alliance with them. They're very excited about it, which makes me feel excited. And with that announcement, they announced the first 2 deals they've taken. One is Raw Beauty Co. With Visa. And the other one is another product called Lotus that's with Fifi that we don't have that one even on the Launchpad yet. But they're doing major distribution deals for both of those products, both on their Amazon store and also in direct retail distribution. They're going to pay for all the minimum order quantities and everything. So they're also looking at about a dozen of our other products right now. And I feel confident that that's going to be a really good resource for us. And we may have another announcement next week, probably middle of the week, with another company that can help us in some other important ways too, as we get to the point of wanting to launch products. So things are starting to look really good, and I'm really happy to report to you today on this Edison Nation and Idea Pros Strategic Alliance. You can go look it up.
Yes, we're going to put the news on the website as well, and link to that, as well as put it in a couple other newsletters that we send out. So that's exciting for all of our partners, really, in the big picture. Congratulations, Raw Beauty and Lotus, for sure. And it was Lotus. What was that's Fifi. Yes. Awesome. And I know Fifi sometimes hops on, so I really hope we see Aziza and Fifi on here. Congratulations, ladies. We're excited to see what's to come for you as well. And I'm just going to take a quick second to say hi, because I know we have a lot of people in with us today. We're just going to hit the ground running, apparently. So Lindsay, Sean, Stephanie, Kelly, and Rachel, Derek, thank you all. Mary, welcome back. And Odin, Rob, thanks. Donna, everyone. At the end, I am going to take a moment to put your takeaways. So I just want to say, if you are really enjoying the show and you have a takeaway, a nugget, if you will, feel free to put that in a comment. I'll try to go back and grab out the nuggets from today's show, just to make it easier for people to see the points that we love. Today is a really interesting show. So we're going to actually walk you through a choose your own adventure, and you guys are going to vote on the poll. So you will get a Facebook poll that will come up and show for you, and you'll get to put in your vote on which way we go. We basically are going to go through a quest to escape your 8-to-5 job and create personal wealth. And we're going to see if you choose to bring your idea to life, or if your choices will require you to shelf it. And so Fred has a little bit to talk about as far as kind of the overview on this, right, Fred? So who this is going to be really applicable to, and who it's going to be a review for.
Yeah. So as you know, when we do these lives and when we do our blogs and different materials that we put out there, we put that out there for the whole entrepreneur nation, not just for the people who are our partners. We have private shows for them every month. But a lot of our partners come religiously to these shows, and I'm very thankful of that. And most of the time, they're really good nuggets for them to take away with. I believe this one will be as well. But for some of you who are our partners and understand the way we do things, some of these answers are going to be real easy. So I'm going to give you an A in advance. But for others, you'll see these are very typical routes that are chosen by the average entrepreneur that may not be the best way to go from A to Z.
Absolutely. So I'm going to, woo, fancy. So Fred, you
so
can
impressed
choose.
with yourself, by the way.
I've had a blast creating this. I'll just put it that way.
Right.
So how this works, it's just like a choose your own adventure. You're going to be able to pick a path. I'm going to give you the backstory, and we're going to walk through it. And then we're just going to engage and add the meat, as Fred says, to what these topics are. So the quest is, can you escape your 9-to-5 job and create personal wealth? And our goal, obviously, is to launch our product. So we're going to go into the backstory, everyone. When it comes time, like I said, I'm going to put up a poll, so you don't need to type anything yet. I mean, of course, unless you want to give us some stuff, some thumbs and hearts. So the backstory is, you're Bob and Sally, a happy couple with the knack for coming up with great ideas. You both have full-time jobs, but you are very passionate about solving problems in the world with innovative products or apps. In this case, we're picking a product path. You know you have a great idea that ideally can get you out of your 9-to-5 job. You want to get your laser heated toaster idea to market. So how do you choose to get started? We're going to have a choice of A, B, or C. And Fred, do you want to just go over those while I get the poll up on the screen?
Well, yeah. I mean, this is the first place where an entrepreneur decides to become an entrepreneur, right? Before then, we're just dreamers, and we're people with ideas just like everybody else. I mean, I don't think I know of a friend, especially since I've gotten into this business of Idea Pros, that hasn't come up to me one time or another. Hey, I was thinking of this thing, or this has been bothering me for 5 years, or I woke up in the middle of the night with something. We all have those ideas, right? And those are all just dreams. So this is the first step. When you take that dream and you wake up one morning and you say, you know what, I have to do something about it. And today's the day that I'm going to make my first step. This is really the first step here.
Yes, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to put the poll up, and you're going to choose to get a patent, choose a licensing consultant, or choose to find a partner. And we're not going to give you any more detail other than just to pick one of those. And it should show on your screen. Now, there's a tiny bit of a delay when we do this. So it is up on your screen now. Yep, I see it. So you can pick A, B, or C. Just click right on your screen. If you're on the mobile app, you can choose to do it from the bottom of the post. So, okay, so we see some people coming in, and Fred, I don't know if you can see that, but right now everyone, 100% of people are picking C, but I'm going to give you guys a couple more seconds. Now, I understand that if you chose a different path, if you're just trying to, I know a lot of our partners are on this, so All right. Well, it's unanimous at the moment. We have 100% are C. So I'm going to go ahead and click on C and see what
Wait,
happens.
I think I see.
Nope. Okay.
Looks
I
like
mean,
the D
I
is winner.
is it a little delayed? It might be a tiny bit delayed, so I might give it a couple more seconds. But don't worry, we're going to check out what those other paths were anyways. But it looks like 100% say C right now.
You know, that's BS. I'm calling
Are
this.
you
I'm
doing
calling
it?
this.
Or did you mark B?
Yeah.
Well, let's give it a sec. Oh, wait, numbers are coming in. All right, give me a second. We have some people who picked A. We have no B's yet. Well, we're just going to have to be patient. All right, 83% have picked C. 17% have picked A. Anyone else? Did you pick B though, Fred? Or
I'm
A?
not telling what I picked because my vote is confidential.
Oh, okay. Well, just tell me if we're ready to move on.
Let's move on.
All right. So we picked C. It is an 83% vote. So you choose to find a partner. You find someone that sees the financial opportunity in your product and is willing to help you with each of the business development phases in exchange for some equity in the business. So you get to move on to concept validation. So
Well, wait, the next one was A. What happens if we had chosen A?
if we chose A, let me go back up to A. If you chose A, which was get a patent, you have some sketches. That should be enough, right? You apply for a patent, but you find out that it was not manufacturable as you originally designed. Reluctantly, you go back to the drawing board, and 30,000 later, you finally have a patent. However, you're no closer to launching your product. You put the project on the back burner and keep your 8 to 5 job with hopes that someone will buy the patent one day. That
Yeah.
happens a lot, right?
It actually does. And by the way, it's a 9 to 5 job.
Oh, right. Yeah. So we figured out that I work a lot more hours
Yeah,
than
you
the
work a lot
average.
of extra hours. Don't tell her anybody. But yeah, that's we have that all the time, and people who, in fact, a subset of people who come and partner with us, they have already done the same thing. They've gotten a patent, and so to go out and get a provisional patent, anybody can do it, and I've talked about this before. The patent office doesn't really check it. They just stamp it. So today, if I wanted to go get a patent on air, I would get a stamp when I could show you. In fact, we should do this, Tessa. Let's try to get a provisional patent on air, breathing air in and out of your mouth. Let's see if we can get that. Okay. Write
Okay.
it down. I'm serious. And so that provisional patent doesn't really mean anything other than it's a time placeholder for you. And by the way, if you have a provisional patent and then you get to the point of having a utility patent, and if that provisional patent is not something that's manufacturable, well, the patent office will just rip it up anyway. So it doesn't mean anything to anybody. It's always best to wait to the point where you've done some preliminary engineering. Obviously, don't go tell the universe. Get some engineering going, see whether or not that's manufacturable, and get a great idea of where you are going to end up before you do something like that.
Right. And we have a whole show we did about how the patents work, that it has to be manufacturable and that it has to be realistic.
Okay, let's go to the next one. I'm excited.
Okay. He's like, go. Okay. We'll go on to the next. Oh, apparently we're going to zoom into this arrow right here.
Beautiful.
Then we're going to leave. Gotta love technology. Okay, so the other one that we didn't choose was to choose a licensing consultant. So you chose a licensing consultant. They promise you a licensing deal and that you'll be rolling in dough in 12 months. You spend $50,000 and they design a pitch deck, and you go to an event to pitch your idea to 100 people. You do your best, but they have questions you can't answer. You realize that you're not knowledgeable enough, and you put the project on the back burner and vow to learn more about product development and how to pitch your idea.
It's all about knowing everything about what you want to do. Who are the competitors? What's the need? What's the growth? Where's the market? How do you go to market? All those things are really important before you want to go speak to anybody that you want to give you money to license your product, to work with you on any level. You really need to know your stuff first. Okay, do we have another question, or is that the end of the show?
No. No. Oh my goodness. Okay, you gotta love. Shh. It's okay. It's because I'm in this delivery method. Okay. I'm out. That's the only one that will do that. All right. So we get to go back and go on to the next step, which is concept validation. So thank you guys for voting. You have another one coming up here. So now you're in the concept validation stage phase, and this does align with our phases in the checklist, just so you guys know. So if you are new to this idea launching process, this aligns with the strategy behind getting a product to market that we outline in there. Having now talked to several people about your idea, it's abundantly clear that you need to research your idea more and get crystal clear on your target market. You're now faced with the decision on how to move forward. Which do you choose to do for your market research? Do you do your own market research, or do you hire a market research company? And I'm going to put that poll up for you guys. Okay, so you should see option A and option B. Do you do your market research, A, on your own, or B, hire a company? So you guys can do the votes on that. You're still with me, right, Fred?
Well, I am just
You're still
overwhelmed.
here. Wow,
Between A and B.
exciting. Oh, yep, got it. We got a lot. It's just a little catching up. This one might be a little bit more torn. We have a 40-60 right now. 40% say A.
How about, oh,
60% say B.
you can't tell them this.
Sorry. Okay, I won't tell. It's still coming in. We're going to give you a couple more seconds here. All right. Are we good? You ready for me to publish?
Sure.
All right, publishing the results now so you guys can see that B was your main answer for this round. So we're going to hire a company to do market research.
Well, what was the percentage?
It's 64% said B and 36% said A.
Okay.
You know, I mean, I think this is more with one of those things that you might try to do on your own, actually, at least initially. So you choose to hire a research company. You find a reputable research company and pay $5,000 for market research report, which that can vary, and Fred will talk about that. But it takes several weeks for them to do a deep dive, but it returns valuable information about the competitive landscape, opportunities, risks, average points, price points, etc. Now you're able to better see your niche and place in the market. You feel more confident that you have a great idea. So you would move on to customer surveys, but we're going to go back. Well, Fred, first, do you want to say anything about the Idea Pros research, market research that you do?
Yeah, and I've talked about this several times. A research company you can pay $5,000 to. You can pay 10, 15, 20,000 or more to. Or you can also get a solution where you're paying $1,000 or $2,000. The reality is, the higher up that scale you go, the more interpretation is going to be involved in the report you get. So when you're on the lower end of the scale, you're going to get the data, but you're not going to get the interpretation of that data. As I've said on other shows, you're going to get the X-ray, but nobody's going to tell you how to read that X-ray. So even if you know how to research and where to go, and even find online research resources, unless you're an expert in the analyzation and strategic marketing involved in taking a product, differentiating it, and being able to get it to market in a way that you're going to be the one selling the coffee beans and water, but you're going to be selling the Starbucks version of that instead of 7-Eleven. That taking that raw data, right? The raw data is, hey, you're going to need coffee beans and water, and what to do with that is the end. We're going to take those two things and we're going to make you Starbucks. Is a much different strategy than the strategies involved in just taking that raw data and say, okay, I'm going to go make coffee. So in one way you're making coffee, another way you're making an experience, and making that experience is where the big bucks are. And making that experience happens when you have two major things going on. Number one, you understand the competition, and number two, you understand what consumers want that they are not getting from that competition. And so even though the people who chose A, you may not necessarily be wrong, but you're not wrong if you're a strategic marketing expert. If you know that you can go on Google and you know you can do research and that's all you know, then you are wrong. You need to have that analysis and the game plan after the analysis to tell you how to get to the next level.
Right. And if we had chosen one step back from here.
I'm going to mute my phone, by the way.
Oh, if you had chosen to do your own market research, you would Google your idea, and according to the first 2 pages of the search results, nothing exists in the world like your invention. Only 2 pages. You chose to invest $20,000 based on this information. We're not saying that this is common. I'm just saying this is our story. We're just making up a story. Choose to invest $20,000 based on this information, only to find out several companies have patents for similar ideas, but not exactly like yours. You need to get clear on your unique marketing position and research your target market more. So go back a step.
By the way, Donna Stewart just raised an interesting point. And yes, by the way, Donna, to your earlier question, your product is something that we will show to them when we're ready to do so. But Donna said, wouldn't you choose A first and then B? You wouldn't choose A as your research that you need, but you certainly, every single one of us should go to A. And even, nobody actually goes to the second page of Google search anymore.
Right? Well, I gave them the benefit of the doubt and went to the second page.
You should at least go to page 1, and before you call me or before you go to the next step anywhere else, see whether or not that laser heated toaster that you want to create is all over Amazon already. So yeah, Don, a good point. But the thorough research that's going to lay the foundation for where you go next, get it done by a professional, whether you partner with somebody or whether you hire somebody.
Exactly.
We're not going to see that.
No, what's so funny is that it does it now. Okay, let's just do this. Here we go. Okay. It's very, very, okay. Gotta love technology. Oh my goodness. Okay. You know what? I tested this and Fred even saw my video on it. So I'm going to exit. I'm stuck in the abyss. I'm stuck in the abyss. It only did it once on the video, but okay. So we're out to market research. I might go out one more level. And we are back on our presentation. Concept validation, we've already gone through. And we're moving on. There's another step in concept validation, customer surveys, so market research, and then we're going to talk about customer surveys. So with your market research in hand, you're ready to dive into what your customers actually want from your product. So how do you choose to do your customer surveys? Do you pick A, to do your own customer surveys, or do you pick to hire a company to do the survey for you? Oh, oh no. Ah! Okay, well, you're going to have to put it into the chat because it just went to the next one. I got to love this. Okay, so go ahead and vote on this one. I will make sure. We're going to do it twice.
What do you mean, go ahead and vote?
Just put in the chat. Just do your chat for A and B because it says that it's closed.
Yeah.
Got it. Which is lovely. So put it in the chat and I will hop on over there.
Okay.
So A, B, okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7 went with B. 8, both A and B is what Odin and Bill said.
Right. Well, see, that's what happens when you don't get them.
I know, because we don't have the straight answer, right? So they do their own and then they try to do B. I see. Well, so far the majority are B. Yep. We have a couple that said A and B. So we will dive into you hire a company to do the survey for you.
Yeah, let's do this. And maybe we don't go click on A. Maybe we move on to the next step from here. You want to go back right? Maybe,
Yep,
maybe
yep,
that
we
makes more
can. We
sense.
can just go fast. Yes, I know, because we're already at 25 after.
Right. And
Okay,
this
you
is
hire,
reminds me of the first driving lesson I gave her years ago.
right?
Um,
Well, okay, we will speed through only your answer. So we're only going to go through B. Right now, you hire a company to conduct an official customer survey to a focus group that matches your target audience. They create a list of ideal questions and ask and implement the survey for you. The results give you a good baseline of what features your target market is most interested in and the price point that they're willing to pay.
Yeah, and so here's another good point. You know, again, this is, and it comes up often. It's the same X-ray analysis, right? Every single time I get ready to do a survey, not everything. I take that back. Often, when I get ready to do a survey, our partners will say to us, "What if it comes back bad? You know, what if I get bad survey results?" There are no such thing as a bad survey result, right? Because you're gathering information, and we've had other conversations, other shows, other blogs that talk about failure is the F word, that they're just opportunities to learn or win. And so there are no bad surveys, but if you go get a survey on your own, number one, you're very unlikely to pick the right targeted audience that is going to give you a meaningful survey result. You're probably unlikely to pick the number of participants that you need to get to give you statistically sound data that you can take to the bank, unless it's a presidential election. And you can also learn a lot about the different demographics and how their opinion may change depending on where they are on the scale of your potential customer. Those are things that if you do a survey improperly, you're not going to get those type of results. Even if you do it properly, you may not be able to interpret those results and figure out what to do with them. And that's why it's important. If you're going to have a survey, have it done professionally. Look for a solution where you're not only getting the results, but you're being told what those results mean. Because we have had, not many, but we've had a few surveys that came back at what our partner would consider to be disastrous. And what we did is take that opportunity, figure out from the questions what it would take to make people change their mind. And in one case in particular, we went from a 25% approval on a cosmetics a product from 25% to 98% by looking at the data, making changes, and going back and presenting it in a new way. And that particular product is on our coming soon on the launch pad now. It's called Savory. But that came out terrible at first. So get your data, but get somebody that can analyze that data too and tell you what to do with it. So
Perfect.
let's move on to branding.
Yep, I'm going to be faster and just leave it in this mode so we can go faster. So branding, I know. All right, things are really starting to come together for you. You have some great information about who wants your product and what they're looking for and how much they're willing to pay. Next step is branding. How do you name your product? Do you name it the name you had in the beginning, which was Laser Toast, or do you hire a brand team to name it? Go ahead and type in A or B in the chat like we did just now. It's going to be faster, I think.
Oh wait, no, we got it. It's up there, isn't it?
I think so. Is it showing? I think so. If you
Let
guys
me look
want,
over
if you
here.
can click it, go ahead and click it. It's stuck as far as I can tell.
Okay.
It looks like people are saying, I don't see any change in it. That's Facebook for you. I love Facebook, but it can be a challenge. Okay, so we have B, mostly B's because Fred said so, says Bill. Hire a branding team to name it. That's what we see a lot of B's of. The funny thing is that these have some really hilarious answers, but I will record a video for you guys so that you can do this. You can actually go through this whole journey on Prezi with my video commentary over it and take your own path like a book. So don't worry if you're really dying to hear what it is. Now it's showing that it's stuck. Yeah. Okay, no worries. Just type A and B and I will see if I can remove that one.
So
Stuck. Okay, A or B, and most people said B. So let's go into branding.
Yeah.
with the hiring a team. So the team brainstorms options with you and offers you amazing choices that evoke emotion and are intriguing. To select a name, you go back to your focus group and see what names they like best. The final product is both popular and trademark ready. And then you can move on to product development.
Yeah. By the way, I would disagree with one part of this. You can
Going
go
back.
to a focus group, but you're not going to ask them what name they like best. You're going to ask them what that name evokes. So maybe you have two or three names that you're trying to decide between, and you say, "Hey, here are three different names. What emotion did these names evoke in you?" And you may have four different answers. Yeah, I just hate the damn name. To really makes me think. And one other one could be, it's really descriptive. I understand just from reading what it is, what the product is. So to me, I say never ask a consumer what you should name your product. You ask them what the emotion is. I've
The
had this
emotion.
show before as well. If you can imagine me coming to you and well, appropriate, I have my turtleneck, coming to you and I say, hey, I got this brand new computer company and I want to name it. And all the other computer companies in the world right now is IBM and Microsoft and Digital Equipment and XYZ Mammoth Computing Company, and I want to call mine Apple. What do you think of my name? Well, everybody would say that name sucks. Or if you have a clothing brand, you want to call it Banana Republic, which a dictatorship in South America. No, nobody would pick that, and certainly nobody would pick Virgin for the name of your airline, right? So.
Right.
This is a reason that you go to branding experts instead of going to the populace, because you want names that are memorable, that are evocative, that make you think. And by the way, Idea Pros doesn't do any of those things, but that's only because we don't want to be in the forefront. We're your background partner. But the reality is the names that you think might be terrible are names that are going to be the most powerful. And Bill has made a funny comment,
Yeah.
and so I'll talk about him. He went kicking and screaming with his chair, which is this big chair that extends up to 5 feet. You can see over the entire audience when you're at a sporting event. I don't know, I'm 6'3", so I'm pretty lucky that way. But I know there's a whole lot of people in the world that are squinting and trying to look around and get somewhere. And you can go right to the back of the line and get a clear view of everything. And we named that chair Goliath. And at first he hated it because it was the sports high chair or something like that. Bill, I don't even want to remember what the
Like the old.
name was, but you can write it down in there. But high-rise sports chair, right? So that's what you're typically going to want to name something, right? If you're an entrepreneur, high-rise sports chair tells you exactly what it is. What
Right.
type of imagery does it evoke? None, right? It's very descriptive. It doesn't evoke imagery. Goliath, on the other hand, makes you think and makes you remember. And so that's a name I'm going to remember. And that's why you go to a professional team. By the way, I have a good friend of mine, Steve Manning, that he has a naming company, and he gets $50,000 or more just to name a company. No name, tagline, no logo. You go figure out what that's going to look like. 50 grand. So it's very powerful. And the most powerful brands in the world, the most powerful component of that brand is their name.
Excellent. So we're going to move on to, I know you guys, thank you for hanging in with us. We're going to go to product development and go through this pretty quickly. Basically, you're ready for product development and you know you need a CAD or a computer aided design for your product. Which do you choose to go forward with? Hire a CAD freelancer or hire a design and engineering team? So I'm going to see what you guys say in the chat. Just go ahead and put type A and B, and I cannot remove that poll because Facebook's being difficult. Awesome. A or B, do you want to hire a design or engineering team? If you're still with me, I guess we have a lot of people actually still in with us. So type into the chat. Are you seeing any replies yet? Oh, okay. At least we have a couple that are coming through. And you don't have to, we're not going to judge you if you pick the other one. Okay. All right. So we have a B's and B's and B's. So you hire a design and engineering team, although the first one is pretty funny on this one. But
You're not going to go back to it.
I will. I really do
You will
want to.
not.
Later.
Okay.
The team looks at the customer surveys, market research, because they do look at that while they're designing, and the desired consumer price point, and incorporate all your critical features to develop that CAD representation. If your product is not manufacturable or the retail price would exceed the desired amount, they let you know. So you now have a detailed product spec. You have detailed product specs, and you're able to talk with potential manufacturers. So you can go on to marketing.
Yeah, and I'll just be very short on this because I know we're going long. You don't want to have a CAD of what you want to build. You want to go to an engineering team that really knows what they're doing, because they think of all sorts of different things. The very first thing they think about is, how can we make this at a cost-effective price point? And when you just go into somebody and having them build a CAD for you, they don't consider that at all. They're going to just build what you want them to build. So an engineering team is going to take what you want to do. They're going to find a way to manufacture it, and they'll engineer around that manufacturing capability.
Perfect. All right. So you're done with product development now, and you're moving on to marketing and then launching, and then we'll see what your end of your story is, right? So you won't be able to launch a product until you build a base. The next step is to get your marketing going and start getting that mail list and social media followers going. Do you choose to do it yourself, or do you hire a marketing team? And we already have a couple of the votes coming in from that. So let us know, A or B. Would you choose to do it yourself, or would you hire a marketing team? All right. Waiting is suspense. Okay. Yep. So you want to hire a marketing team is what I'm seeing from you guys. So we're going to go into that one. All right, you choose to hire a marketing team. The marketing team is asking you for photos of the product and videos of it in action, but your prototype is still in development. Your very first prototype is all you have available, and it's literally composed of parts you found around your house. So you put the product on hold until you can provide a better prototype. Now, this is one of those scenarios where you could hire somebody and it still does a setback because you're not quite in the right phase to really start something like this. So both of these options were a go back one step. Ha ha ha.
Yeah. But you can, just because you have professionals, as you migrate, if you made an improper choice before this choice, when you get to the next step, you're going to end up getting there without all the materials that you really need. So there is no correct answer on this one. That's you, Tessa being diabolical. Now you know more about
because I thought
personality.
Right, people would figure us out by this point, but both of them actually send you back. But if you choose to do it yourself, you actually mess up and have spelling errors because you have no sleep. But now we're going to go into launching, and you finally see the light at the end of the tunnel. You made it through so many challenges, and you're nearing your launch. What do? Do you buy in bulk, or do you choose to create a pre-sale website?
By the way, it looks like on Facebook there's just a frozen picture of you and me, with you smiling, of course. And
oh goodness, you're kidding! But people are commenting, so I don't know how that is.
Maybe it's just mine.
I hope not. Well, we're taxing, I guess we're taxing the system really heavily. Okay, well, everyone's saying B, so hopefully you guys see our video. And you're choosing a pre-sale website. And so this one, you set up a motivating website where people can pre-order your product. Your first merchant manufacturing purchase is done with money from your pre-sale. So you have minimal out-of-pocket expenses and minimize your risk. And the products are a hit, and you get noticed by a company that would like to license your product. So celebrate.
And by the way, it's even this, though, it's not. Just keep in mind, you're an entrepreneur. Things are never going to work out the way you want them to work out. I mean, as I've said repeatedly, crazy and failure are the two words that come to mind when I talk about me, when I talk about any of you. Right? We got to be crazy. Why do we have to be crazy? Because all of our friends, our relatives, our neighbors, people who work with us tell us we're crazy. They stick with that 9-to-5 job. Don't make those changes. somebody else is going to come up with that idea with more money than you have. And failure is inherent in being an entrepreneur. You're going to have roadblocks. You're going to have twists and turns. You're going to launch either on the launch pad or after that, your own website, or if you're not working with us, of course, your own website. And it may be a week or a month before you sell your first widget or t-shirt or beauty supply product, whatever it is. Just believe in yourself. Just keep trying and find what's not working so you can figure out what is working. And when you figure out what is working, that's the time to crack that champagne over.
Right, right. So this was a fun one despite the technical challenges. So thank you guys all so much for being on this with us. And again, Fred reiterated that this path is just, there's a lot of potential choices you have to make throughout the process. And that's what, if you're a partner of Idea Pros, lucky you have a lot. These are built in. This is Idea Pros right here. This is the whole story. Right, Fred?
Well, not the whole story.
Well, almost the whole story. But, these steps are all things that Idea Pros can help you with. And so if you are looking to have help in getting your product or app to market, go to ideapros.com/start-now, or on the homepage, it's Start Now button, and you can actually find out how we can help you. But if you are not ready to do that, just keep watching our lives every Friday at noon Pacific time. We're up on YouTube and on Facebook, and we just keep bringing this really great information to you about the process because we want to see you succeed as entrepreneurs, even if you aren't partners.
Yeah, and just to be clear, we probably cannot help you. And I only say that not to disappoint anybody, but because we only can work with 1%, 2%, 3% of the people that come to us, just because we can't handle any more than that. We have 250 projects. We handle them very well right now, but we've had over 40,000 applications. So Idea Pros is not going to be the answer for everybody. However, our Facebook Lives, our blogs, the different writings we have, those are the answer for everybody. One of the issues that we have is this heartfelt desire to really do something good for every single one of you, whether you partner with us or not. And because of that, one of the things that we're working on right now, and stay tuned, probably within the next month or two, we'll be able to talk about it. We're putting together basically courses, and we're putting together coaching programs so that even people that can't partner with us can learn more and for not very much money at all, learn some of the things that you need to do as an entrepreneur to make your life easier. But if you're going to get into this and you're going to think it's just going to be smooth sailing working with us or working on your own, it's not. So be prepared for that. Do your homework. Never give up. Never stop learning. And we're going to see you be successful one day.
That's a perfect statement to leave with. So thank you so much, Fred. And we'll see you guys all next week at Friday at noon.
Okay. Take care,
all
everybody.
right. Thanks. Bye.